Tart drops it. Very next play, Odell Beckham gets 30 yards, and then there's the late hit that gets a 15 more yards. So it's a 45-yard swing anyway. Go for it.
Also, if you go for it, and let's not forget, Kyle didn't use his timeouts before the 2-minute warning. Not that it ultimately ended up mattering, but you give that break. The Rams defense comes out rejuvenated. If you go for it and you don't get it, you are still up 17-14, and the Rams had the ball. Instead of the Rams
in their own territory.
Correct. But instead of them burning off 9 plays, 63 yards, 3 minutes, maybe it's 2 or 3 plays, or I guess it'd be 5 plays, and then stop them and they kick. There's less time going off the clock there.
And I feel like the only reason, I don't know. That's one of those things where Shanahan is so progressive, but then in a play like that, he's never going for it. We all knew he wasn't. Even
of course not.
When he called the timeout and he brought his line out, he's not still
not everybody, because if you saw Sean McVay's face, he'd go, oh my God, what did I do?
Yes, that's true. and so the other part there is that they had struggled to run the ball. I think they averaged like 2.5 yards a carry. And so I feel like that weighed on Shanahan. But this is like the same thing as a 2-point conversion. You got to have a play in your book where you can get 2 yards.
He has 10 of those plays. He just didn't call it.
He's a master of drawing these things up. So what's the advantage here? You
run
offensive genius calling an offensive play, or punting it and giving it to another offensive genius who's going to just run down your throat because he's going to just call no, you got to have more faith in your offensive play calling than Sean McVay's.
The 49ers defense has been really good over the last few weeks, few months.
Fred Warner was playing like a man possessed. He tried to murder Matthew Stafford in the first half.
But there's a reason why people want offensive coaches. There's a reason why offense wins. It's because you want to have you have the advantage by being on offense. You dictate the terms. Go out there, convert the 4th and 2.
Yep.
Make McVay desperate.
You can hire anybody to punt on 4th and 2.
They had no timeouts left because McVay had burned through them all. You can melt the entire clock down. You have a lead. Lay your nuts on the table and go win the damn game. I mean, it's ridiculous.
When I lived in Arizona, I used to play a lot of golf because I lived in Arizona, and I remember playing with this old timer, randomly paired up with him once, and he traveled from the East Coast, and we was a par 5, the last hole in 18, and water in front of the green. He hit a good drive, and he said, "I didn't drive all this way to lay up." And
laying up, exactly.
And Kyle Shanahan laid up. Pull out the 3-wood, see what happens. And the thing is, you hit your 3-wood 250 every time in the middle of the fairway. Hit it. What's going to happen?
So I thought he was so shook by the use check, the setup with the Williams motion thing, because they talked about
they called timeout. He had a minute.
I know, and then he put the offense out there. It was like, oh my God, he's actually going to put him on the table and go for it here, and he turtled up. I mean,
after the game, they asked him specifically about that. I don't know if you guys heard the press conference. He said, I never thought about going for it.
Hate that.
I hate it too.
And that's how you blow double-digit leads.
It is funny. Breech is a little
cocky.
Yeah.
Cocky.
No.
Yeah.
Yes,
hey, why don't you stick to being the lovable underdog? Okay?
I know. This doesn't suit you.
I wanted, guys, you know what? I wanted my 2010 prediction to come true. The Bengals 49ers from 12 years ago.
Too, pal.
and Brinson would have won a ton of money if it would have been Bengals 49ers. I had my tweet from 2010 that predicted Bengals 49ers Super Bowl 56, and it just fell apart for me and Brinson. But again, and McVay has the same problem where you're just not aggressive enough in those situations. You get too conservative. And, you guys, Brinson asking who outcoached who, and Wilson answering yes, or whatever it was. Other way around. That is exactly what this game was. It was like who could out-conservative who, and it was Shanahan.
Hey, Breech, there's Travis in the chat is the only Bengals fan in a 50-mile radius in Hawaii. Surrounded by 49ers fans.
Oh my God.
There's one Bengal fan in Hawaii, and he's watching this podcast.
I love the idea of that. That is hilarious. Bengals Nation has reached Hawaii.
Screaming right now.
Unreal.
This game was very slow.
I think this game should have been played first because the Bengals Chiefs game was bonkers.
Yeah. Well, and what's funny is so by the time I'm done celebrating and returning texts and communicating with as many people as possible, this game is like 8 minutes into it. And I'm like, my God, what did I miss? And the score is still 0-0. I'm like, I didn't miss anything. Okay. So that's easy. So literally, I guess nothing happened in the first 8 minutes. Well, I guess Stafford threw an interception.
No.
Oh, in the goal near the end zone.
Yeah, Stafford had a
because I went back and watched that highlight.
I don't know if you had seen
George Kittle on a free shot down the field.
Oh God. I think you were probably around to see the medicine ball that Jimmy G threw to Deebo Samuel to try to get him murdered.
Oh yeah, I did see it, and they threw a flag.
But like 10 seconds
and then
before
picked it up.
Fox put a tweet on the broadcast. It was like, Deebo Samuel doesn't want to hear you talking about what Jimmy G does on the field. He backs his quarterback. And then the very next play is just Deebo just getting trucked like as he goes across the middle because Jimmy threw a helium balloon.
All right.